Hey guys, we're almost done with the school year. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen so we can look at the remote learning packet, which is being updated as we go along. It's been updated to include our last unit, which is gonna be Unit 8. Unit 8 focuses on reproduction of animals and then genetics. So it's kind of a bigger unit, which is why it's gonna take us a bit longer to get through it. Today, we're gonna go through slides 3 through 22. And your assignment is going to be a terminology Quizlet. I'll walk you guys through how it, because you probably don't remember, how to do the learn. So you get the 100% on it, and then you can just screenshot a picture of it, attach that, and it'll be all good to go. So pulling up the PowerPoint, which should be shared with you, it should be on Edmodo as well, one of the more recent posts. Unit 8 focuses on not animal nutrition, that was our last unit, animal reproduction. So the different parts, how it works, terms, stuff like that. So first thing we're gonna do some terminology. Castration is the term for when we take a male animal, because male animals have testicles. When we take a male animal and we remove their testicles in some which a way so that they are not able to breed. Because if we don't want to use them for breeding, then why would we want to let them keep them in case the chance happens? So castration is the term for when you remove the testicles off of the male animal. This is when you take your boy dog to the vet and you get him neutered. Colostrum is the term for the first milk that a baby drinks when it is born. When baby animals are born, they're born basically with no immune system. Their entire life has been inside of their mother, and their mother has protected them. They do not have an immune system. So what nature does is it builds up antibodies, which are the things that help to fight off sickness. Nature builds up antibodies in the mother's milk. And it just continues building and building and building in the mother's milk until the baby is born, and then the baby drinks the milk, which has all the antibodies, and it just kind of gives it a head start so that it kind of has an immune system, because the immune system is something developed over time. So the colostrum kind of gives that head start to help protect the baby as much as it can for right now. Gestation is the term for when an animal is pregnant. The mother is gestating. The mother is pregnant. The two terms mean the same thing. Gestation is just the term we use in the animal science world. Estrus, so we've got two terms and they sound very, very similar. Estrus, estrus cycle. The estrus cycle is the whole time period of when the animal is cycling. So from the time where she's receptive to be bred, meaning she will stand still and let herself be mounted and get pregnant, and then all the time that she is not. That entire circle is the estrus cycle. One little period where she is able and receptive to be bred, where she will stand still and let the male mount her, that little period right there of the estrus cycle is estrus. So estrus is when the animal is able to be bred. The estrus cycle is the whole thing, when she's able to be bred and when she's not able to be bred. Puberty is this is a term that most of us should probably know, because humans, we also go through puberty. Puberty in animals is when the animals reach sexual maturity, meaning they are able to breed. The female is able to have babies, the male is able to make babies. They're not born ready and able to do that. They have to sit there and they have to slowly mature, and then they hit puberty and they're able to be bred. Lactation is the term for after the baby is born and the mother is producing milk. Think of if you're lactose intolerant, you can't drink milk. Lactation just means milk, producing milk. So the mother is producing milk. The mother is lactating. Parturition is the term for when the animal is being born. Gestation is the time that the animal is pregnant. Parturition is this little time frame of where the animal is born. When the animal is being born, it is coming out of the mother. The mother is going through parturition. She is giving birth. Ovulation is when the ant is a very, very brief period of time related to estrus, where the egg is released from the ovary. When the egg is released from the ovary, that means that the sperm is able to swim through the reproductive tract to get to the ovary. When the female is ovulating, she is going through estrus. She is able to get pregnant. Fertilization is what happens when that sperm swims through the reproductive tract and meets the egg, and they combine. When the sperm and the egg combine, the egg is fertilized, meaning it is going to turn into a baby. So I'm sitting outside, so I can't really see a whole lot because the sun's on my computer, but this is the egg. This egg has been released from the ovary. The ovary is what holds and produces the egg. The ovary holds that egg until it is mature. When it's mature, the ovary says, okay, go, be free. And the egg, if it meets sperm, then it gets fertilized and it turns into a baby. If it doesn't, it just slowly exits the system. So there is an arrow pointing right here, which should mean that there's like sperm somewhere. I cannot see it on my computer. So I'm just gonna trust that this arrow is accurate and that it is there. These are just some ages or some times for you to remember related to cows, pigs, sheep, and goats. Cows reach puberty around 6 months old. Pigs reach puberty around 4 months old. Sheep reach puberty around 4 months old. And then goats are kind of weird, where goats, they reach puberty in the first autumn, the first fall that they are born. Because of this, they're only able to be bred in the fall or in the spring. So if a sheep is bred in the fall, it's gonna have that baby in the spring. And then that by the time that next fall comes, that goat is gonna be reaching puberty and able to be bred. When that goat reaches puberty and is able to be bred, she's gonna be bred in spring. She's gonna have her baby in the fall. And then her baby is gonna have to wait a whole year at that point. So a lot of time goats are bred in the spring. The average length of the estrus cycle, so the entire cycle, from being able to be bred versus not being able to be bred, is about 21 or 22 days. The length that they're able to actually get pregnant, estrus, is very, very short, ranging from 16 hours to 3 days. So you don't necessarily have a lot of time. If you're breeding cows, you have half a day basically to time this out and get your cow pregnant. If you don't time it right, your cow's not gonna get pregnant. You're gonna have to wait another 3 weeks, another 21 days. And then gestation is the time that the animal is pregnant. So a cow holds its baby for 283 days before it's born. A pig holds its baby for 114 days. A sheep holds its baby for 148 days, and then goats hold their babies for 151 days. So basically, this is like 8-ish months. This is almost 4 months. This is almost 5 months, and then a little over 5 months. See what, 28, 30, more like this. So this is more like 9 months. This is more like 9 months. Okay, so we are gonna go through the male reproductive tract. We're gonna go through the parts, what each part does, how it all works together to be able to produce sperm to produce babies. So these are pictures of the male reproductive tract. This picture is kind of a lot, This picture I think is easier to understand. This is the testicle which holds the sperm, and the sperm travels its way through and comes out of the penis. So the first part is the scrotum. The scrotum is this little pink circle thing out here. The scrotum's job is to hold the testicles. Literally, hold them. It's kind of like a little sack. It holds the testicles. Its job is to protect the testicles a little bit still. It's like a sack. So like, how much protection is it really doing? Not a lot. Its main job though is to keep the testicles outside of the body. Shouldn't be outside of the body for most animals. So the sperm is cooler than body temperature. If the sperm reaches body temperature, then what can end up happening is it gets too hot and the sperm kind of denature, they kind of break apart and they don't really do their job. So if you're using an animal for breeding, and if they have their testicles, you are. If you're using them for breeding and their testicles are too hot or their scrotum is too hot, testicles, the sperm, gonna denature, break apart, and you're not gonna have sperm that's able to get a female animal pregnant. The testes or the testicles, either one, are what are inside of the scrotum. The testicles' job are to produce sperm. Produce the sperm. This is 1/2 of what makes a baby. So they're very, very important for life to continue. The testicles also produce sex hormones. Sex hormones, in most cases, for this case, we're going to talk about testosterone. Testosterone is like the primary male hormone. Testosterone is what makes male animals look like male animals, makes them really big, makes them muscular. It can make them pretty aggressive, which is another reason that if you're not using them for breeding, you probably don't want them to have them. Testicles, they're kind of ovally shaped. They're kind of meaty structures. They live inside the scrotum, which is outside of the body. And they're, like I said, their job, produce sperm, produce testosterone. Then the epididymis. So we're starting on this end, and we're gonna work our way through the reproductive system. We're gonna kind of follow the path that the sperm follows on its way out. So the epididymis is right here. This little C, it's kind of like this C shape. The epididymis sits on side, so if this is the testicle, the epididymis hole sits right on the side of it. The epididymis's job is to hold the sperm until the sperm are mature. Male animals are continuously producing sperm. The epididymis holds the sperm until it's mature, meaning when that sperm goes, it's going to be able to get a female animal pregnant, because that's the whole job of the epididymis. It does not let go sperm that is not mature and cannot get an animal pregnant. It will sit there and it will hold the immature sperm. Then you have the vas deferens. So the vas deferens is a tube. So once it leaves the epididymis, it's going out this little tube here. That tube there is the vas deferens. The vas deferens is just a passage. It's just a tube. It's like a hallway. And the sperm travels all the way through the vas deferens to the urethra. So just to a whole nother tube. It's all connected, but think of it like a highway. You get on one street, then you're gonna turn on the next street. You're still on the way to the grocery store, to the school, to your house. You're still on the way somewhere, but you might have to take a different street. It's just the way that you take. The sperm has to go through the vas deferens to get to the urethra, to try to get out. The urethra kind of has this double job. The urethra is what pee also comes out of. So this is where the excretory system, where urine and the male reproductive system meet. When the male animal has to pee, it comes out the urethra. When the male animal is releasing sperm, it also comes out of the urethra. But it's like a fork in the road, except it's the opposite. The forks meet and they go out through the urethra. Just some accessory glands. We talked about accessory glands when we talked about digestive systems. There's also accessory glands for the reproductive system. If you don't remember, an accessory gland or an accessory organ is something that helps a process go smoother. So in the digestive system, we talked about that the liver is considered an accessory organ. The liver produces bile, which helps to break down fat. It's not completely necessary, but it sure makes the digestive process a lot easier. So in reproductive systems, accessory glands are glands that produce some kind of fluid to help make reproduction more possible. So in the male system, one of those glands is the seminal vesicles. The seminal vesicles produce a fluid that helps to protect and transport the sperm. So basically, it's like putting on a coat when you're cold. That coat keeps you warm, keeps you from getting cold, keeps you from getting sick. The seminal vesicles produce a fluid that coats the sperm to try to make sure that they're protected so that they can get out of the male reproductive system and hopefully get to a female egg to produce a baby. The prostate gland is also an accessory gland. The prostate gland's job is to also produce a fluid, but the fluid that's produced by the prostate gland is mixed with seminal fluid. It just helps things to be able to travel smoother. And then we've got the CalPERS gland. The CalPERS gland's job is to release fluid ahead of the seminal fluid, ahead of the semen, ahead of the sperm. Think of it, it like clears the road. When it's snowing outside, we have those trucks that come and they clear the road so that it's safe for us to drive down it. CalPERS gland kind of functions like that, where the CalPERS gland produces the fluid that moves ahead of the seminal fluid, and it just kind of neutralizes anything that may hurt or stop the semen. So it goes down the urethra. What else comes out of the urethra other than sperm? Urine. You probably don't want those two mixing. So what ends up happening is the CalPERS gland comes through, neutralizes the acidity of the urine, so that by the time the sperm comes through, it's smooth, easy sailing. Then you've got the penis. The penis is what deposits the semen in the female animal. The penis is the part that goes inside of the female animal when they are breeding. The penis is kind of like this rod, and it is protected by the sheath. The sheath gets its name because this thing right here that covers a sword and protects it is also called a sheath. So yes, in this case, the penis is kind of like a sword, where the sheath has to protect it. The sheath stays over the penis to try to protect it until the penis has to come out to go inside the female animal to deposit the semen. The sheath is literally just the skin that surrounds the penis. It doesn't do a whole lot of protecting, but it does kind of provide some cushion to it, because the penis is a very sensitive organ. It would hurt a lot if it got hurt, and it would be very easy to hurt. So the sheath kind of provides this cushioning in hopes that this doesn't end up getting hurt. So this is an actual reproductive tract. I think it is a cow's reproductive tract. So these are the testicles. They produce the sperm. The sheath is not, or not the sheath, oh my God, my mind. It just blanked. The scrotum, goodness. The scrotum has been removed. The scrotum is the sac that holds the testicles and tries to protect it. It also keeps the temperature cooler than the rest of the body by a couple of degrees. The sperm would end up traveling on through. Here we've got an accessory gland. You've got the seminal vesicles. You've got the prostate gland. So the testicles would probably be right about here. They've been removed. But the testicles would probably be right about here. This little kind of curvature that you see right here, this is the epididymis. This is the part that holds the sperm until it is mature. Once it's mature, it gets released and it goes through the vas deferens, where it's mixed with the seminal vesicle fluid, where it's mixed with the prostate gland fluid, and then it's gonna make its way on through until it's gonna come out of the penis. Here the sheath has also been removed because the sheath is just the skin. This is literally just the internal organ structure part of it. So you don't see the sheath and you don't see the scrotum up here because they're made of skin and these are just internal organs. All right, so what you guys are gonna do, you're gonna go to this Quizlet. I'm gonna walk you guys through how to set it up in the way that I'm wanting. So when you get here, you're gonna click Learn. It will be helpful for you to log in, that way it will actually save your progress. If it accidentally closes out, if you can't remember whether or not you did it, it's helpful to log in because this will say whether or not you've done it. So to get a 100% on Learn, you have to get all 26 correct once, and then you have to get them correct again, so twice. On the side, it will say that you got a 100%. So you're gonna say, okay, got it. And it's gonna have your questions. What you want to do, you want to go to options. I'm making this easier for you. Go to options. You can answer with the term or the definition. Make sure both of these boxes are checked. And then make sure only multiple choice questions are checked off. You don't want to write this out. You don't want to type it out. You don't want to do flashcards because you're not going to learn anything from it. You only want multiple choice questions to go. If you want audio on, you can turn it on. If you don't, you can turn it off. It doesn't really matter. Then you're going to exit out and it will automatically save your progress. You're automatically going to get nothing now but multiple choice questions. So you're going to go through and you're just going to go through and answer them. The length of a female's cycle from one estrus to the next. So we're talking about a cycle. We're not talking about a short period of time. We're talking about an entire cycle. That is the estrus cycle. Correct. So you see it gets one mark as familiar. I have to get it so that it says there's 26 familiar, and then it will move on and ask the same questions again, and you have to get 26 mastered. When you get done, you're going to take a screenshot and you will upload that screenshot to the assignment that's posted. That's what you got to do. So let me know what I can do to help you guys. I miss y'all. We'll have Zoom every day, or every Tuesday, every Thursday at 1 o'clock. So y'all get on, stop by, say hey, check up on me. I'll check up on you. Just like I said, miss you guys. Hope things are going good. Bye, y'all.